Miles south of Grantham, in the village of Woolsthorpe, where Newton was born, I met up with someone who does share my passion for his mathematics.
This is the house.
Oh wow, beautiful.
Jackie Steddle is a Newton fan, and more than willing to show me around the house where Newton was brought up.
So here is the, well, you might call it the dining room. I'm sure they didn't call that, but the
Right,
room where
yeah.
they ate, next to the kitchen, and of course there
Lovely,
would have been a
great.
huge fire in there.
Yes, gosh, I wish it was there now.
His father was an illiterate farmer, but he died shortly before Newton was born. Otherwise, the young Isaac's fate might have been very different.
And here's his room,
Oh, lovely, wow.
as we think.
Oh, they preserved it really nicely. It's got
Yes.
a real feel of going back in time.
It does, yes.
I can see he's as scruffy as I am. Look at the state of that bed. That's how I think I left my bed this morning.
Newton hated his stepfather, but it was this man who ensured he became a mathematician rather than a sheep farmer.
I don't think he was particularly remarkable as a child.
Okay, so there's hope for all those kids out
Yes,
there.
yes. I think he had a sort of average school report. He had very few close friends. I don't feel he's someone I particularly would have wanted to meet. But I do love his mathematics. It's wonderful.
Newton came back to Lincolnshire from Cambridge during the Great Plague of 1665, when he was just 22 years old. In 2 miraculous years here, he developed a new theory of light, discovered gravitation, and scribbled out a revolutionary approach to maths, the calculus. It works like this.
I'm going to accelerate this car from 0 to 60 as quickly as I can. Now the speedometer is showing me that the speed's changing all the time, but this is only an average speed. How can I tell precisely what my speed is at any particular instant? Well, here's how.
As the car races along the road, we can draw a graph above the road, where the height above each point on the road records how long it took the car to get to that point. I can calculate the average speed between 2 points A and B on my journey by recording the distance travelled and dividing by the time it took to get between these 2 points. But what about the precise speed at the first point A? If I move point B closer and closer to the first point, I take a smaller and smaller window of time, and the speed gets closer and closer to the true value. But eventually, it looks like I have to calculate 0 divided by 0. The calculus allows us to make sense of this calculation. It enables us to work out the exact speed and also the precise distance travelled at any moment in time.
I mean, it does make sense of things which we take for granted so much.
Yeah.
I mean, things that, if I drop this apple,
Its distance is changing and its speed is changing, and calculus can deal with all of that.
which is quite in contrast to the Greeks. I mean, Greece
Yes.
is a very
It's
static
static,
geometry.
yes, and yes, it is.
And here we see.
Yeah.
So I mean, the calculus is used by every engineer, physicist,
Absolutely,
because
yes.
it can describe the moving
yes,
world.
Yes,
I mean,
and it's the only way really you can deal with the mathematics of motion or with change.
there's a lot of mathematics in this apple.
Newton's calculus enables us to really understand the changing world, the orbits of planets, the motions of fluids. Through the power of the calculus, we have a way of describing with mathematical precision the complex, ever-changing natural world.